Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, Jim's Double Surprise. Two tiny kittens join the family. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it. No hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. When I first noticed Jim acting a little differently, I didn't think much of it. He was sleeping more, eating slightly less, and occasionally staring at me with big mysterious eyes, as if he had a secret to tell. For a cat who usually acted like the king of the neighborhood, patrolling the yard with the confidence of a lion and the appetite of a bear, this change was unusual. Then one morning, while I was still sipping my coffee, I heard the tiniest squeaks coming from under the couch. At first, I thought it was a lost mouse. But when I knelt down and peeked, there they were, two tiny fur balls, eyes closed, squeaking and wriggling next to Jim. My jaw dropped. Jim had become a parent. Or should I say, Dad Jim. The shock quickly turned into laughter. Jim looked at me with the most serious expression, as if saying, "Yes, I've been busy, and now you have grand kittens. Please act like an adult about this." I couldn't believe it. Our household had doubled in cuteness overnight. Within days, the two little kittens became the center of everyone's attention. They were tiny, clumsy, and endlessly entertaining. One had a little patch of white on its nose, which made it look like it had accidentally dipped its face in milk. The other was slightly smaller but much louder, demanding attention with squeaky meows that sounded more like toy trumpets than actual cat voices. Jim, who had always been a bit of a diva, surprised me by becoming a very responsible father. He cleaned them, guarded them, and even let them climb all over his back like he was a jungle gym. Watching Jim go from the cool cat of the block to full-time babysitter was both hilarious and heartwarming. I couldn't stop laughing the first time I saw him trying to nap while the kittens chewed on his tail like it was a spaghetti noodle. The kittens, of course, wasted no time in turning the house into their playground. They discovered the curtains, perfect for climbing, the laundry basket, a five-star hotel, and my shoes, ideal for hiding in and surprising me at 7 a.m. Every evening, they staged what I called the Midnight Zoom Eyes show, racing from one end of the living room to the other at lightning speed. Jim just sat nearby with a resigned look, clearly wondering how his peaceful life had changed so dramatically. As the weeks went by, the kittens grew stronger and bolder. Their personalities began to shine. The one with the milk nose became an explorer, always sneaking into forbidden corners, while the smaller loudmouth turned into the boss, demanding food first and claiming every toy as its own. Jim adjusted surprisingly well to his new role, though he sometimes shot me a look that said, "You owe me for this." Lots of treats. But beyond the cuteness and chaos, I realized something important. Watching Jim and his kittens reminded me that life is full of surprises, some messy, some tiring, but often incredibly rewarding. The kittens didn't care if they fell while climbing or if they missed their jump. They simply tried again, tails high and spirits unbroken. Jim, despite his diva ways, showed patience and adaptability, proving that even the most independent soul can grow when others depend on them. Every evening, when I sit on the couch and see the kittens curled up against Jim, I feel a simple joy that modern life often forgets to give us. We rush, we stress, we chase goals, but sometimes the most meaningful happiness comes from small, unexpected things, like two tiny kittens who squeak their way into your world. And so, Jim's double surprise wasn't just about adding more cats to the family. It was about laughter, learning, and love. Because in the end, life with cats teaches us this. Chaos is temporary, fur is forever, and happiness often has four paws. Life with Jim and his two kittens shows us that unexpected surprises can completely change our routines, but often in the best ways possible. In modern life, we tend to plan every detail, our work schedules, our goals, even our daily habits. Yet, like Jim discovering his new role as a parent, surprises remind us that life doesn't always follow our blueprint. Instead of resisting change, embracing it with humor and patience can open the door to growth. Jim adapted from being a carefree cat into a responsible father, teaching us that flexibility is key when new responsibilities appear. The kittens, clumsy but fearless, remind us not to be afraid of failure. In today's fast-paced world, People often avoid trying something new because they fear mistakes, but just like the kittens who stumble and try again, persistence builds resilience. Most importantly, the joy and connection that Jim and his kittens brought highlight the value of relationships over material achievements. In our modern chase for success, we should not forget that happiness often comes from simple companionship, whether it's family, friends, or even pets. So, when life surprises you, welcome it. You might just find unexpected happiness.